Alright, I'm about to do my Think Aloud protocol. Which is very difficult to open. So, first, let's see. I was substituting in a second grade classroom. So that's environmental. It describes the environment, obviously. The student, John, was a young boy with a cochlear implant. Environmental, it's discussing the clientele. His implant was not working properly in a few weeks before he had removed it. I would say paralinguistic. This scenario happened at the end of the day during the last half hour. I would say maybe intrapersonal. The second graders were going to visit their preschool buddies next door. Okay, so I could describe that as environmental because it's adding on the clientele that will be in the environment. The teacher wanted them to do a art project with their buddies. I could say that it might be a project with their buddies. That could be interpersonal, yeah. She quickly explained that they were to help color and help cut out a paper basket. An adult would help them fold it and tape it together. See, when it says quickly, I want to say it's paralinguistic because of the pace of how she's saying it. But it could be interpersonal. I'm gonna go with interpersonal. Let's see. Remember to cut on the solid black lines. Do not cut the dotted lines, she said. That would be interpersonal. Johnny wasn't paying attention during the interpretation, so I showed him one-on-one what he should do. That's interpersonal as well. The kids all lined up. Several boys, including Johnny, were pretending to sword fight in line. Interpersonal. The teacher calmed them down. Everyone settled, and they took off. Interpersonal. Going back, I want to say that the demand was Johnny wasn't, or John, not Johnny, wasn't paying attention during the interpretation. So my control was that I showed him one-on-one what to do. And then, as a positive consequence, Johnny now knows what to do, and as a negative consequence, well, I don't have one, since the teacher was done giving instructions. Alright, returning. They entered the preschool classroom. That's environmental, that's changing the setting. The preschoolers were wild. Could be several. I'm going to say interpersonal for now. The next line doesn't say that I was bothered, that's why I'm not saying intra. Also, their classroom was small. That part itself is environmental. It was crowded because there was about 20 kids, one teacher, 3 or 4 aides, and maybe 3 adults helping out. And the second grade teacher brought 20 students and an interpreter. That's a lot of people in a small room, which is also environmental. It's stating who will be in the setting. Alright. Let me get some light. Okay. So, each second grader found a preschool buddy and introduced him or herself. That sentence is enter. With my assistance, John picked a boy and signed, "Hi, me John." But he did not even get the boy's attention. That would be interpersonal. I had to get the preschool's attention and then voiced for John. So, the demand was that John could not get the boy's attention, so, just make a note, okay. The demand was that John could not get the boy's attention, and that, my control was I get the preschooler's attention and voiced for John. The boys just stood there not interacting, which would be I'm going to say interpersonal, because just going on a guess, but a preschooler might not know why the adult is talking for the son, so in his thought world, he might be really confused. Alright, the next sheet. Excuse me. Finally, the preschooler what his name was. Oh, finally I asked the preschooler what his name was, which, Tim, he said, sorry. Finally asked the preschooler what his name was. Tim, he said. Which is interpersonal. John was looking everywhere and at everything. I'm going to call that a demand that is interpersonal. A main demand. My control is I got John's attention and then introduced the boy. And then I continued to help them get their supplies and find a place to work. Positive consequence is that the boys now are working together instead of just standing and facing each other. No negative now that I know of. There was no table space, so they had to sit on the floor, which I'm going to say is environmental. I tried to get John to explain what to do, but he just started coloring, all in black. Tried to get John to explain what to do, but he started coloring all in black. That is a interpersonal. I say this, because John might not be respecting me as an interpreter and just going on about his life. I explained to Tim what to do. That's a control in response of John not explaining to Tim what to do. When it was time to cut, John didn't even cut on the lines. It looked like a mess. Interpersonal again. Tim needed help with the scissors, so the interpreter helped him hold them correctly. I would say that's the first part, Tim needed help with the scissors. That is a main demand. Because John wasn't explaining to Tim, his helper, what to do. So my control was to help Tim hold the scissors correctly. Positive consequence is that Tim is learning how to hold the scissors correctly now. No negative that I can see right now. All of a sudden, it was time to go home. It seemed fast, but I sure was glad to be done. That sounds like a intra-personal, that I was happy to be ending my day. Going back and looking at it, I would say that maybe a pre-control would be learning what the plan was today, and knowing that they were meeting up with a bunch of other students and that John might be distracted. That would be helpful to know beforehand. There wasn't really anything too substantial and anything difficult to understand. During the assignment, more controls that could be applied would be liberally would be telling John's teacher that he is not focusing on what is asked of him. Conservatively, I could have just let him be. I could have gotten his attention a lot more and told him to focus. A post-control would be telling the teacher, John's teacher, that he was not focused most of the day. I don't know why. In that he did not follow the instructions that I gave to him. So, yes, that is my DCCRD.